I tipped a waitress 83 cents after she embarrassed me in front of the whole restaurant. My wife and I went out to dinner last night at this Italian place near our house. Nothing fancy, just one of those casual spots with red checkered tablecloths and breadsticks. The food was pretty good and the service was fine until the bill came. I handed the waitress my credit card without even looking at the total. She walked away and I was talking to my wife about what movie we should watch when we got home. A few minutes later, the waitress came back looking annoyed. She literally slapped my card down on the table hard enough that it made a loud noise. Then she said, "Declined," in this super loud voice, like she wanted everyone around us to hear. I was confused because I knew I had money in that account, but her tone was so rude and short with me. I pulled out my other card from my wallet and held it out to her. She just stood there staring at me and didn't take it. I looked up at her and asked, "You okay?" because she was acting weird. She crossed her arms and said, "If I go back and try to run this, are you still going to be sitting here when I get back?" Like I was some kind of criminal trying to dine and dash. I was shocked. I asked her if she thought that was an appropriate way to talk to customers. She got this attitude and said, "You're only a customer if you pay," right in front of my wife and the tables around us who were all staring now. I was so embarrassed and angry. I told her I wanted to speak to her manager. She rolled her eyes, grabbed my card, and walked away. My wife tried to calm me down, saying maybe the waitress had dealt with scammers before and was just being careful. I said being careful and being straight up rude are two completely different things. There was no reason to talk to me like that or make a scene. The waitress came back a couple minutes later with my card and the receipt book. She put it down and said, "This one worked. I'm sorry," but she didn't sound sorry at all. It was like a fake apology. I said thanks and opened up the book. The bill was $91.17. Normally I tip 20 to 25% on everything. I'm not cheap, but I was so mad about how she treated me that I wrote 83 cents in the tip line. That made the total an even $92. I signed it, closed the book, and started getting up to leave. The waitress picked up the book and I saw her eyes go wide when she looked at the tip. She said, "You're really not going to tip me?" I said, "No, you were rude to me." She started getting loud again, saying, "I have to tip out the bartender and the busboy. I just paid money to serve you." I told her, "Well, in the future, you shouldn't be so rude to customers," and walked out. My wife was quiet the whole drive home. When we got back, she said I was being an asshole and should have at least given the waitress $10 because it was probably just a misunderstanding. I told her I would have tipped $28 if the waitress had been professional, but I'm not paying someone to insult me in public. The next morning, I called my bank to figure out what happened with my card. Turns out it got flagged for fraud because there was some weird $1 pending charge that scammers apparently use. The bank froze my card automatically, so it wasn't even my fault it declined. But that waitress decided to humiliate me instead of being polite about it. Now my wife still thinks I'm in the wrong, and we've been arguing about it for 2 days.